do not cut your beards. Now, it's going to come out and it's going to hit, but I'm telling you, do not cut your beards. Do not let this persuade you. Don't let them call you. You better have a beard Monday. I'm going to say that shit. You better have a beard Monday.
Jeez, who you? Red Fox? No, better yet, you Richard Pryor, ain't you?
What's your name, girlfriend?
Dwight Williams, but boys call me Dick, so you call me Dick.
You like the way I handle these white boys, D.
Oh, yeah.
It make you feel good to see a black man run thing, huh?
Malcolm X.
But let me tell you something, D.
Yeah, brother?
Why don't you come closer?
I am not your damn brother! Now drop down, give me 20 squad thrusts now!
Yes, we have a master sergeant, an E8 in the Army, that is advising junior soldiers, or soldiers in general, to disobey orders that have been directed within regulation of higher authority. And I want to talk about that today because we are talking about a master sergeant we've talked about before with this beard situation, but new guidance has come out essentially telling the U.S. Army soldiers that they need to shave or get out. Now, that's a broad spectrum, overgeneralized idea of it. They have a timeline, all this other stuff. I don't even want to cover that because I don't think that's too crazy important. They want people on regulations. The Navy did this only a couple of years ago where we need everybody to see medical and confirm they actually have an issue, right?
I know I'm supposed to wait and say this shit, man, but I just want to express how we feel right now. They don't like us. Saying it wasn't supposed to be permanent. How come it's always about the beard, though? What about the no-run profiles? That wasn't supposed to be permanent. Why didn't you bring that shit up? Why is an issue now? You can't tell me different. They don't like us, man. I want to break my heart about this shit. There are soldiers at the border, strategic ways around the world, get ready to pounce on the enemy, and today they heard they might get kicked out for having a beard. Not for incompetent, not for not being able to fulfill their duties, nothing like that. Simply because they got a beard. And I guarantee you it's still deployable. Everything they say, it just bothers me. We going back to standard discipline. It takes more discipline to maintain a beard. When the medical condition is not discipline no more. And I guarantee it was nobody who looked like me that was in that room. When they were discussing this whole beard shit coming with a game plan, I guarantee it was nobody look like me. Do I think it will stick? No, man. It sounds good, but they haven't thought this process through. But I'm gonna talk to that another day. I'm just want to express to them like, yo, man, this how we feel, man. They don't care, man. Just know Paul gonna keep fighting to his very last breath. Hey, man, I feel shy. You know how I feel. Like I'm petty as hell.
And when he says petty as hell, that's because he lost a promotion to a certain position. Previously, I've talked about this because they said he was taunting them. But, you know, I understand. This is the moving target, and this has been a hot topic recently in the military sphere. And there are like a lot of people that want this to go to medical, even though it's not a medical quotations issue. It's technically an administrative issue because if you ever went to the doctor not in the military, they would tell you just stop shaving. But that's not the case. Now, obviously, there are people that have dealt with this, like this person specifically, that has obviously had a profile for a while not to shave and is later in their career. Now, he probably has less to worry about than a more junior soldier that's just starting out their career. And essentially, they aren't going to have the same benefits of retirement there and probably going to be kicked out. I think that would be ridiculous. And now, essentially, this person has now gone on the record and said that all soldiers should not be following any of the orders of what is being pushed from above.
Do not cut your beards with y'all scary ass. Now we got our feelings. Let's think about this. They got it like where if when it comes out, you got 2 weeks to cut your beards or get kicked out. That's not how it's gonna work, man. That's not how it works. The Army cannot handle that much loss. I know that, and they know that. That's why they saying it's gonna take 2 years. So it's gonna come out and say less than two months. And you're going to have to read up on the policy. You're going to have to get classes on the policy. And they're going to have like a date when it starts. Hey, everybody going to spend up understanding this policy by this date. That probably be like 3-4 months out from today. Then they saying another year, if you get on profile, your shape profile, over a year, that's when the shit start happening or whatever start happening. So that's a year and 4 months, 5 months. And on top of that, it takes me a month to see the PA. There's somebody getting chatted for overweight and waiting on their phase 2 physical and have to wait like 3 weeks. So with that type of bog down when it comes to the medical system or the appointments, they about to flood them with shaving profiles and now it's gonna come out and it's gonna hit. But I'm telling you, do not cut your beards. Do not let this persuade you. Don't let them call you. You better have a beard Monday. I'm going to say that shit. You better have a beard Monday.
He is not wrong. It takes a lot longer to be able to actually separate from the army. It's not like, see you later instantly. However, how hard they want to lay the hammer down, and a little varying degrees of how fast, depending on the command, how many people are there, how many people are processing, whatever. There's big army stuff as well. But it can still make your life miserable, right? Like, we have to understand, during that process, we know it's not going to be 2 weeks, but do you want to piss off people for that entire process? And I actually got to see that firsthand with the jab and everything else, seeing how people were ostracized and, disowned essentially to the side because they did not follow orders and fall in line. But people are actually a little upset with this master sergeant because they feel like he's giving some bad gouge out there to future soldiers or junior soldiers that are out there. And on top of that, I want to say that we're seeing that, yes, this will probably override or overrun medical departments that have to see actually true sickness and illness, which is a whole other case I could go on about for, hours essentially at this point, literally. But yes, that will take slots away from other people that are being seen for conditions that could be like musculoskeletal or something like that might inhibit them from actually doing their job. But just putting that out there. People on his TikTok say, everyone should start growing beards. And someone says, as a woman with PCOS, I'm growing my beard in solidarity. Someone then says, if they're kicking people out over a shaving profile, then everyone on a profile should go. That's crazy. And lastly, Willie J says, Master Sergeant Parker, why are you promoting bucking the system? If the goal is to have soldiers work with medical to come up with a treatment plan, lasers, etc., then why not promote it? If it can be treated, that's the good thing. But telling soldiers to stand against them is counterproductive. And I do understand, like, people are like, oh, you have lasers, right? But these people are going to lose all of their facial hair if they do go for this laser thing. And so, luckily, because YouTube and all this stuff, I think a lot of people joining the military now know about these policies and how strict they can be or how, they can be. But, when I first joined, I didn't even know about, shaving profiles or any of that stuff. I just was, oblivious. I just knew you had to shave when you joined the military, and that was it. I think that's kind of where people are coming through with these policies, or kind of looking at it from the perspective of it's just expected.
Y'all remember that USAPEC memo that you had to carry a beer cart? When that came out, heavy in Hawaii, that you had to do formation twice a day for it because of it. I don't know if it's the same thing or not. Ask me how long that lasted. 2 weeks. Now, they didn't stop doing this because of, they were defiant. They just realized they had more important shit to worry about. People getting kicked out, deployment, field problems, sharp, EO, killers, rapists. The defense get messing up. There's barracks that have mold in it. There's soldiers getting kicked out and need an escort. There's other important stuff that came in. And then honestly, when it came to the beard, it's not hurting the force. They still scoring high on the ACFT. They still shoot the expert. Most of them I talk to, what they say? Just keep it in regulation, Parker. That's all we care about. Just keep it in regulation. That's all. I don't see, and I'll be honest with you, I lost that position about a year and a half ago, and I think it wasn't some major. I think it was more officer influence. I think it's the higher up officers that, can't let go of the old days. And I'm not saying people going to force it, and I force it, and they should. I just think history going to repeat itself. Because beer ain't causing nothing. It ain't causing no harm to the force. And I can see people starting in and trying to get on, but it's like, hey, HR makes this red. You gotta go to the range, gas chambers, and there's all this and the deployments, and I'm like, hey, this is this gonna fall down the priority? That's if history repeats itself. That's all I'm saying.
And I don't think he's wrong. History will repeat itself because the reality is, even the Navy had this at one point where they're like, everybody must keep their no shave shit on them at all times. Only a couple of years ago, they were like, we will rescind that. That's okay. You don't have to have it on you at all times to prove that you have one, because they felt like it was a little overbearing. And I do think that this Master Sergeant is right, that this will change in the idea that there's just other stuff to worry about. And I think it is going to be really different in how every unit is going to implement this, if I could say that. Because, I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is who really cares enough at the lower level, and what are they willing to do with their time? I mean, do they hate their kids? Do they hate their wife? I don't know. But let's hope they like them so they want to go home. And this isn't an issue. And the reality is a lot of people have abused a lot of the systems that are in place, people that are not actually needing it. That's frustrating. That have made it hard for people that actually do need it. Just like the situation is hard for people that want to go to medical that actually do need it versus people just going for beards. Like, it's a multitude of onion layers to this entire thing. People did respond to this Master Sergeant with some funny responses where Django says, if the VP can rock a beard, so can soldiers. I think we should all file an EO complaint against the people who had a hand in making this policy. And this guy says, in my opinion, beard should be 100% acceptable, not only for medical reasons, but it gives some people a confidence boost in their appearance. And if you're confident, you perform better. As Deion Sanders said, you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. And if you play good, they pay good. So yeah, I do think it's crazy that a Master Sergeant was telling soldiers not to follow the orders. That is where I think you're going to run into issues. I will say, if you let this ride out, you play the dog and pony show, you do a little bit of, I'm trying, I'm doing my best, you show that you're trying, we all play the roles that we're supposed to play, and then they just continue on and they're like, what? We had an issue with beards? Then I think you're going to have an okay time if you let things creep through and kind of essentially just fizzle out. That's my opinion of how this is going to go. But that's just me. But let me know what you guys think about this Master Sergeant telling soldiers not to follow orders, because I thought that was the most crazy thing I saw from this entire thing I covered here. But as always, let me know in the comments below.